This Sunday, we are invited to discover love celebration in different countries by the means of songs, poems, movie, and then to travel to beautiful cities and to a carnival celebration. The program will start with a song, Vinari, in English Winemakers, performed by the group Bouquet of Flowers from Ruse, Bulgaria. The group is formed by Ivan Zhekov, Dimitar Tashkov, Netka Zhekova, Yarka Nikolova. Then the teacher Vladimir Alexandru Bogoslaevich will present us the historical Cluj, and we will see the highlights of the town of Cluj. Then Tomislav Milunov from Vârșeț, Serbia, will recite the poem Santa Maria de la Salute, a poem of Lazar Kostic. After that, we will see Carnival in Rottweil, a presentation about the centuries-old Jester's Parade in Rottweil, presented by Horst Buchmann from Germany. After that, Elena Vieru from Brașov, Romania, will sing for us Pe lângă plopii fără soț, besides the poplars in odd numbers, and the lyrics are by the poet Mihai Eminescu. After that, Barbara Sawade from Rostock, Germany, will present us Rostock, a beautiful historical Hanseatic city. And then Violeta Botazo from Ljubljana, Slovenia, will show to us a short film named Lemon Dance, a film prepared by the students of University of Third Age from Ljubljana. We will start today with the presentation from Ruse, but before the song will start, I will ask Emily Velikova to say about some words about that song and what they are celebrating today in Ruse, Bulgaria. Emily?
Thank you very much. This presentation is short, so translator can speak shortly if they would like. Saint Trifon Zarezan or Saint Valentine's Day. 14 February for Bulgarians is traditional celebration as holiday of wine growers, winemakers, gardeners, and pub owners. The name of this celebration is Saint Trifon Zarezan or Trifon the Pruner. Saint Trifon was a Christian martyr who was beheaded in the year 250 AD for his Christian beliefs. Typically, the church celebrates this day on 1st February, but Bulgarians on 14th of February, today, because of changing of Julian and Gregorian calendar. The story of the connections of Saint Trifon and the wine goes that he working a way of trimming and maintaining the vineyards of his vineyard, observed a beautiful woman passing by the field. Trifon is said to have become enchanted by the woman and transfixed by her, ended up snipping off a part of his nose while looking after her. The holiday marks the dividing line between the outgoing winter and the onset of spring, the transition between the dead winter season and the invigorating, powerful of the following season. The first printing of the wines for the season is the main ritual performing on that day. Women also prepare loaves and give as a symbol of friendship to their neighbors and relatives. It is not uncommon to see wine and love celebrated with equal aplomb. The last research shows that most of the Bulgarians prefer to celebrate Saint Trifon. This is not, this is not unusual. The reason is that 8th of March is the International Day of Women, and it is very famous in Bulgaria. The tradition is very strong. Every man, husband, boys, male colleagues have to give minimum flowers to women, wives, female colleagues, and even girls. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emily. And now we will listen to the group Bouquet of Flowers from Rusen.
So, готови сте? Включете си камерите. Включете микрофона. Микрофона.
Днеска е Трифон зарезан. Бая Ване, дай да зарежем лозето, че да е берекетлия годината и много, много вино да налеем.
Ех ти, вино, винце, кръвта ни закипява, пулсът очистява и за любов ни прегрешава. Да даде и тази година свети Трифон 12 месеца 12 месеца на здраве, 53 седмици с вино, 365 дни и приятели изненади. И сега в този празничен ден да вдигнем чаши и бъклици тежки и от този елексир да пиваме без спир. А на здраве!
На здраве за голям берекет през цялата година.
Да полееме музичката.
Айде.
Още за по-голям берекет. 10 кръшни хора да люлеем.
Blagodaria, Blagodaria, bouquet of flowers from Ruse. Just I want to tell you that Mr. Jakov said before, oh, you wine, wine, all year long, you make our heart beat fast and we dream of love. Let Saint Tryphon gives health, happiness, and pleasant surprises to everyone in the world during the 12 months, 53 weeks, and 365 days of the year. Let's sing and dance. And then we heard that beautiful song. Thank you again. Thank you. After this beautiful song, we will go to Cluj-Napoca, where the history teacher Vladimir Alexandru Bogoslavievich will tell us about the highlights of the city of Cluj-Napoca. I want to say also that Vladimir is also lecturer at the Tourist Club from Day Center for the Elderly #1, Cluj-Napoca, center led by Mihaela Markovic. Please, Vladimir, the floor is yours. The microphone, please.
Do you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Yes. Hello, everybody. As I speak a few minutes ago spoke, excuse because I make mistake with the tenses because I'm in rushing with Frau Carmen. I will tell some things about our city, our town. So we traveled the Danube, we traveled the Carpathian range, and we arrived to Cluj-Napoca, the most important town from Transylvania, a very special region from Romania. About the city nowadays, the city is the second city from Romania. It has about 500,000 inhabitants and is a very powerful university center after the hierarchy of the European university. The main university from Cluj, named Babeș-Bolyai, bears two names, a name of a scholar Romanian, of a scholar Hungarian. I tell a few minutes after why. So you notice that our town has two names. Why have two names? Because Napoca is the old one. Napoca is the name which came from the Dacian roots and means wet place, and Cluj come from the Clujum, in medieval word Latin, and means a place between hills. And the city represents the reality of the situation in the geographical place. So about our city, here you'll see the museum square. The writing is in Romanian. And why the museum square? I present you because it's the first precinct of medieval fortress of our town. By the way, it's a different city from the old one, Roman, which disappeared in history in 2 centuries after Christ. So this square represents the downtown of our city and the center, old center of our city named Cluj. We have a lot of heritage from a lot of ethnicity. Like nowadays, our town is a multi-ethnic, multi-confessional town. But long time ago, this stronghold was inhabited only by colonists came from Germany, not this Carmen from Germany, hospites in Latin language or Latin language, but they formed this locality and they put the walls from stone, which were about 1 kilometer. So Museum Square is the oldest square from our town, from Cluj-Napoca, being the center of the first fortified enclosure, which had 7 hectares about. Here you'll see the main objectives or the sightseeing of this square museum. Here is the Franciscan Church, but on this place in 11th century was built the first one, the first church was constructed from wood because there was 11th century, and it was destroyed by the Mongols when they invaded this part of Europe in the middle of the 13th century. And nowadays church is from the 18th century, exactly from 1745, they finished the construction. The height of the tower is about 52 meters. Here we see the Baroque styles. Here see the patron, one of the patron of the church, Virgin Mary, the other is Saint Anthony. This is the entrance from the church. Nearby is the monastery, which an orange color or some kind orange. Here is a placard which reflects Maria de Loreto, which is Catholics now. Maria de Loreto is a lady which brought, not she's married. Loreto is the house, came from Nazareth, and two angels tell the story, brought this house from Nazareth to Loreto, which is a locality in the region Ancona in Italy. So this is inside of the church, and here is the shrine, the altar, with a very, very important painting. Of course, it's a copy of a celebrity painting from the church Santa Maria Maggiore from Roma. Here we'll see the altar, and there in the extreme sides we'll see two Hungarian kings, Saint Stephen and Saint Ladislaus, because the most believers are Hungarians because they are from denomination Catholics. Romanian are Greek Catholics or Orthodox, but we also have included Reformers and Jews. But so here is a very, very important piece from the inside of church, Our Savior, and was made from wood by a German craftsman. The family named Stoss, and the father was Veit Stoss. We know that we have similitude in Vienna and Cracovia, two crosses made by this renowned sculpture from that time. Here is place which relieve the tombs, because also the church have crypts, but unfortunately we cannot visit because they were robbed long time ago, and the monks are very precocious. Here is Saint Anthony, the second patron of the church, and here is he was born in 15th of August in Lisbona and died in Padova. Is Saint Anthony from Padova, because we have also another Saint Anthony, you know, from the 4th century. You'll notice here is the pulpit, a very interesting piece with the symbols of the Gospelers. Here in the center is the Jesus with the globe of the word, and in the sides are the Gospelers with their sign. Matthew with the lion, and so on. Here are a tomb from made it for a child, you'll see here, and there is Saint Joseph, and here is Saint Stephen when he prays to the Saint Stephen, the King of Hungary. By the way, this part of nowadays Cluj was belonged to Hungary till 1918, and from the Kingdom of Hungary, you know, until at the beginning of the 16th century, the Hungary Kingdom was very powerful in this part of Europe. About the details from history, here we have the 14 stations, Via Dolorosa. Why 14? Because, you know, our Savior was crucified at 14 Nisan in the Jews calendar. And 14 is a very important number in this kind of esoteric interpretation. Here we have an obelisk about 10 meters high, and he was built in the honor of the visit imperial couple from Vienna. Carolina was the empress and Francis was the emperor. Is significant for our town. Initially wasn't here, the position was in the great market, because this market is known like a small market. Here we have the entrance from in Cluj by the imperial couple. Here the visit of a hospital. Here we have the vultures, the eagles. But what is so important, this culture? Because in that times don't exist photo, and that sculptures relieve the fashion of that times, of the beginning of the 19th century here. Of course, high life of the city, you know, the flags, the job, and here we have the coat of arms of the our town, 3 towers, which means a free town, a free royal town. And there we have an inscription in Latin, which attests the visit of the imperial couple in our town. By the way, here we have an angel which keep the medallion with the imperial couple. Here, yes. And the monument was built by craftsmen from our town, and these reliefs were made for a very important sculptor from Vienna. Kleber Joseph was named in that century 19. Here is the house Petricevic Horvat, was an aristocrat, Croat from origin, in Habsburg army, and nowadays is the historical Transylvanian Museum. Here you have a very, very important house, the house where was born the great king of Hungary, Mattia, but the house doesn't belong to him. It belongs to a very wealthy German craftsman, Mechfi Jakob, which this house inherited by his son-in-law. The name was Stefan Kolb. If I mistake the German pronunciation, excuse me, Frau Carmen. So here is nowadays a hotel Fulton, but inside in the courtyard is a wall which marked the boundary of the first precinct of medieval town, which I told you a few minutes ago, that town which have 7 hectares. Here is Taufer houses, built in the 19th century, and was the center of the first lodge of Freemasonry with the name St. Andrew. Then we have a house where was born a Principe of Transylvania. Pronunciation in Hungary is István Bocskay, and is nowadays a Hungarian university. And in this place was another building, the first printing house, which belongs to Kaspar Held, a German. The Hungarians know him from the name of Gaspar Heltoi. There are a lot of things to show in our city. Here we have the fragments from the medieval wall. Here is inside of a high school nowadays named George Baric. Then is part of the wall. This wall was built in 13th century, and there's a plaque inside the courtyard of the high school, which I told you a few minutes ago, and there is a plaque which relieved that it's a snippet from the that wall medieval or the Middle Age. And here is yes, thank you for attention. And I think that when you come to Cluj, I present more things from our beautiful town. Have a nice day. Or night, excuse me.
Thank Thank you, Vladimir. It was a very interesting presentation, and I'm sure that many participants will enjoy coming to Cluj and to see the old town of Cluj and all what Cluj have to offer.
I tried to speak slowly, but I cannot. I tried to speak slowly, but I wanted to say you much more things.
Thank you very much again, Vladimir. And now we will listen to the most loving poem from Serbia that will be read by Tomislav Milunov from Vršac, and he will tell us some words about the writer Lazar Kostic, and also what is the story behind the poem. Now shall we listen to the poem? I give the floor to you, Tomislav.
Thank you. Also, a couple of words about the song and Lazar Kostic. He's one of the greatest Serbian writer, and this poem, Santa Maria della Salute, is one of the most loving song from Serbia. Unfortunately, this love is forbidden, and why this love is forbidden is because he was 50 years of age when he met a young girl, Lenka Dunjerski, and she was only 19 years of age, and her father didn't allow that relationship. Because of that, Laza married another girl and go to Venice, and he got the news that Lenka, his love, died from a typhus fever. Because of that, he was desperate, and he go to the church Santa Maria della Salute in Venice, and when he saw the church, he saw the silhouette of Lenka, and he was so broken, and he started to write the song, and he finished it in 1909. I will read now the song. Santa Maria della Salute. Oprosti, majko, sveta oprosti, naših gora požalih bor, na kom se ustuh svakoj zlosti, lažno i tebi podiže dvor. Prezir nebesce, vrelo milosti, što ti zemaljski sagreši stvor, kajan ti ljubim prečisti skute, Santa Maria della Salute. Zar nije lepše nosit lepotu, svodova tvojih postati stub, nego grejući svetsku lepotu, u pepka spalit srce i lub, tonuto brodu, trnutu plotu, đavolu jelu, a vragu dub. Zar nije lepše vekova tute, Santa Maria della Salute? Oprosti, majko, mnogo sam stradao, mnoge sam grehe pokajao ja, sve što je srce snivalo mlado, sve to jave slomilo ma, za čim sam čezno, čemu se nado, sve to davno pepao i pra, na ugod živu, pakosti žute, Santa Maria della Salute. Provala me podmuklo gnjilo, ali ipak neću nikog klet. God je muke na meni bilo, da nikog zato ne krivi svet. Jer što je duši lomilo krilo, to joj u jeku dušilo let. Sve to s ove glave salude, Santa Maria della Salute. Tad moja vila pred me granu, lepše je ovaj ne vide vid. Iz crnog mraka divna mu svanu, ko pesma slavlja u zorin svit. Svaku mi mahom zaleči ranu, al težoj rani nastade brid. Šta ću od milja, od muke ljute, Santa Maria della Salute. Ona me glednu, u dušu svesnu, nikad još takav nesinu gled. Tim bi što iz tog pogleda kresnu, svih vasiona stopila led. Sve mi to nudi, za čim go čeznu, jade pa slade, čemer pa med. Svu svoju dušu, sve svoje žude, su večno zate, divni trenute, Santa Maria della Salute. Zar meni jadnom sva ta divota, zar meni blago toliko sve, zar meni starom na dnu života, ta zlatna voćka što sad tek zre, o slatka voćko tantalskog roda, što nisi meni sazrela pre, oprosti meni grešne zalute, Santa Maria della Salute. Dve se u meni pobiše sile, mozak i srce, pamet i slast. Dugo su bojak strahovit bile, ko besni oluj i stari hrast. Napokon sile sustiše mile, vijugav mozak, održa vlast. Razlog i zapon, pameti hude, Santa Maria della Salute. Pametni stegnu, ja srce stisnu, utekoh mudro od sreće lud, utekoh od nje, a ona svisnu. Pomrča sunce, večita stud, gasnuće zvezde raju plač briznu, smak sveta nasta i strašni sud. O svetski slome, o strašni sude, Santa Maria della Salute. U srcu slomljen zbijen u glavi, spomenjoj njezin sveti mi hram. Tad mi se ona odnud javi, ko da se Bog mi pojavi sam. U duši bola led mi se kravi, kroz nju sad vidim, od nje sve znam. Zašto se mudrački mozgovi mute, Santa Maria della Salute? Dođe mi u snu, nekad je zove, silnih mi želja navrli roj. Ona mi dođe kad njoj zigove, tajne su sile sluškinje njoj. Navek su sa njom pojave nove, zemnih milina nebeski kroj. Tako mi do nje prostire pute, Santa Maria della Salute. U nas je sve ko muža i žene, samo što nije briga i rad. Sve su miline, al nežežene, strast nam se blaži u rajski hlad. Starija ona, sad je od mene, tamo ću biti dosta joj mlad. Gde svih vremena razlika ćute, Santa Maria della Salute. A naša deca, pesme su moje, tih sastanaka večiti trag. To se ne piše, to se ne poje, samo što dušom probije zrak. To razumemo samo nas dvoje, to je i raju plinovak drag. To tek u zanosu proroci slute, Santa Maria della Salute. A kad mi dođe da prsne glava, od tog života hirovit kraj, najlepši san mi postaće java, moj ropac njeno, evo me, naj, izništavila u slavu slava i beznajice u raj, u raj, u raj, u raj, u njezin zagrljaj. Sve će se želje tu da probude, dušine žice sve da probude, zadivit ćemo svetske kolute, zvezdama ćemo pomeriti pute, suncima zasud seljanske stude, da u sve kute zore zarude, da od miline dusi polude, Santa Maria della Salute.
Thank you, Tomislav. It was great. Thank you very much again. It was the most loving poem from Serbia.
Yeah.
And now, after this poem, we will hear Carmen.
Yes. Oh, thank you. It was very long. It was not easy to understand, but it was impressful, and to hear so a lot of Serbian. It was nice. Thank you. Now we go over to Germany, and we have a very different presentation. If I would be in my town today and without Corona, I would say, ahoy! And in Mainz, you would say, hello! And in Cologne, you would say, alaf! And so you hear, we have very different greetings in all Germany for Carnival. And Carnival is really in all Germany, but sometimes it's called Carnival, sometimes Fastnacht, sometimes Fasching. So we have very different regional traditions, but all are connected with Carnival. And there are parades on the streets, there are street parties, entertainments, all are taking masks and costumes, and nobody is working in these days. But especially in two different parts, nobody is working. But they have a lot of tradition. This is in the region of Köln and Mainz, in the Rhineland. This is the region of the Rhine. I don't know in English, it's Rhine. And it's in South Germany. And I have to say, I live in Mannheim, is South Germany. But when I went to Ulm, it was the first time I was in contact with the Schwäbisch-Alemannische Fastnacht, the Swabian Alemannic Carnival. And I'm very glad to ask now Horst to present this very special, very typical Fastnacht. You can feel it in January everywhere, in February everywhere, and especially in these days. but you have to know that this kind of tradition is for South Germany, and in other parts there are also big festivities, but celebrated in other ways. So Horst, you are Horst since a long time. You are very involved in Rottweil's Fasnacht, and I know there are special traditions, and let us know a little bit about.
Yes, hello everybody. It's quite interesting, Carmen, that you mentioned Ulm. But Ulm is a town which is characterized by Protestant religion, and therefore Ulm doesn't know the carnival which is known in Rottweil, because Rottweil is a Catholic town, and therefore the carnival was developed there already in the 14th century. And this is what I'm going to give my presentation about. And let's see that it works. Yeah. So, Carnival in Rottweil would have seen a big parade already this afternoon, but during times of Corona, of course, nothing is taking place. And but that you get an idea where it is, where Rottweil is, I'll show you Rottweil on the map here, right in the middle. And Ulm you find on the right-hand corner, and which is on the Danube, and Rottweil is on the river Neckar, right here in the middle. Here you see all the regions which celebrate the carnival in the south of Germany, and all these places have got a population with a Catholic majority, and that's why they celebrate it there. Here I want to go back to the Middle Ages, and it's quite interesting that you can see that in Rottweil, in one of the biggest churches, you find these two figures on the left. On the far left, you see a devil, which is also a famous mask in the carnival of the south of Germany. And this devil is represented by the modern mask of the Fäderhannes, we call it. And you see it with these typical teeth, which you find on the mask. And so it looks like a devil, really, whereas we have got a nice mask on the right. But this appeared later. This appeared in the 17th century, during Baroque time, where they wanted to have pleasant masks and not such masks of devils and so on. And also in this church, you find the mask or a figure of a jester. And if you compare the mask of the jester with the one on the right, you find similarities too. And so we know that the carnival has got or goes back to a religious tradition. Here you have a view of the parade, the way it would take place tomorrow morning, starting at 8 o'clock. And if you look in the times of Corona, of course, there will be no parades, there will be no dancing, no music. People usually meet in pubs to have a drink. They will eat in the restaurants there, and many tourists will come. So normally about 70,000 people come during the time of Carnival to Rottweil. And so the hotels would be full. And as you see, of course, this year, there will be a loss of about 1.5 billion euros in Germany for Corona. And there will be, of course, a lot less joy, happiness, and fun. But I'm sure that tomorrow something will take place in Rottweil, but nobody knows what. People have to be careful, of course, but I'm sure that something will take place. When I was a child, we used to go to the town to watch the parades. And as it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday, it can be still freezing cold. As what the weather is like today, it could have been as well in my time as a child. And so the walk would take 45 minutes and we would wait for the parade. And during the parade, we were singing to get sweets, oranges, and pretzels by the jesters. And then we would proudly come back home, and my mother would expect us and give us tea and Berliners, which are donuts filled with jam. And you see them on the right in the picture, on the middle shelf, the typical donuts, which you eat during fasting. Well, during the time before the fasting period. And the reason why they celebrated Carnival in the Middle Ages was that they had to use up all the meat and all the fat. And so they baked these donuts, and they used up all the meat. They slaughtered hens, and they gave away eggs and so on, because you weren't allowed to eat them during the fasting period. Now, if you want to take part in a parade, you have to get prepared, of course. You have to put on the costume. And on the left, you can see me putting on a costume 2 years ago. And you would wear a mask, and you would wear these bells, which make a typical sound, of course, to the music. The sources which I used for the presentation you find here, especially the one on the left, is the most popular book by Werner Metzger. He wrote it about 15 years ago, but it is still very popular, and he is from Rottweil. And now I will show you a video which gives you an idea of the Carnival parade.
Weil ihr kennt, ihr seht, es ist Weihnachten. C'est Noël. Ja, und man muss natürlich da backen und die kennt ihr ja wahrscheinlich aus der Altstadt. Ich glaube, wir sind sie froh, wenn ich richtig weiß. Sie ist ja auch so ein bisschen, sie ist ja mittlerweile auch so ein bisschen festen. Aber das Alter macht dann hier. Und eigentlich so zum Bild tragen. Aber sie ziert sich.
Thank you, Horst. It was a very nice, very nice presentation. I like it very much. And also, I want to say that the presentation of the carnival is also on the site of the project Kodanek. And please, Raffaele, if you can let us see also here at kodanek.eu cultural treasure. You can see the presentation from Horst about the carnival in Rottweil. The presentation is in English and in German. It has a description and also an intention. The project, the Kodanek, has more than 141 contributions, and if someone from different towns, different city or countries want to share with us some interesting cultural treasure, we are looking forward, and you can write to the Institute Eloy in Ulm. Horst, many greetings. It was a very nice presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for paying attention. Come to Rottweil. During time of carnival, it's worth it.
We hope pandemic will go away and we will be able to travel and to see face to face.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And now, because we are in 14 February, Day of Celebration of Love from Romania, from Brașov, we will hear a love song. Lyrics, Mihai Eminescu is our great Romanian poet and national Romanian poet. And the song will be sung by Elena Vieru, who is a Romanian teacher with a PhD in philology, and she's member of Soroptimist Club Brașov. Also, I want to underline that Romania celebrates also the Day of Love in 24th of February, when we celebrate Dragobetele, national traditional Day of Love. And now I want to give the floor to Elena Vieru.
Bună seara încă o dată. Sper că
Good evening to everyone.
Sper că mă auziți și sper să nu vă rețin foarte mult. Înainte de a cânta, aș vrea să vă spun că luna februarie este luna iubirii.
The month of February is the month of love.
Luna renașterii naturii.
The revival of nature.
Când toate elementele ei se pregătesc să se deschidă spre lumină.
When everything is going to open to the light.
Să înflorească într-o continuitate de neoprit.
In an ongoing process.
Este luna Sfântului Valentin, când
It's the month of Saint Valentine.
sărbătorim îndrăgostiții. E luna Dragobetelui.
We celebrate the lovers, we celebrate Dragobete.
De aceea am ales pentru seara aceasta un cântec de dragoste.
So she chose a love song for today.
Pe versurile lui Mihai Eminescu,
Lyrics Mihai Eminescu,
poetul nostru național.
our national poet.
Voi cere îngăduință să deschid puțin, o să încerc să fac o partajare, dacă se poate. Dacă nu, o clipă. Mă auziți?
Da, da.
Atunci o să încep fără partajare.
Vă ascultăm.
Sper să auziți. Mulțumesc. Pe lung, plin fără soț, adesea am trecut. Cunoșteau vecinii toți, tu nu m-ai cunoscut. La geamul tău ce strălucea, privi atât de des, o lume întreagă înțelegea, tu nu mai înțelegi. O lume întreagă înțelegea, tu nu mai înțelegi. Am așteptat o șoaptă de răspuns, o zi din viață să-mi fi dat, o zi mi-era de ajuns. O oră să fim fost amici, să ne iubim cu dor, să asculte glasul gurii mici, o oră și să mor. O oră să fim fost amici, să ne iubim cu dor, să asculte glasul gurii mici, o oră și să mor. Mulțumesc mult!
Bravo, bravo!
Bravo, bravo, bravo!
Such a lovely voice! Voce minunată, extraordinar! Congratulations, Elena Vieru from Brasov. Lovely voice. Thank you again for your contribution. And now, Carmen.
Yes, we will come back to, thank you, Elena, it was very nice and enjoying. But now we will go back to Germany, but not in the south, but in the north of Germany, to Rostock and on the seaside. And there will be Barbara Savade, and she will present her town to give us some impressions also from another part of Germany. I know Barbara since a long time, and we were linked by our Serbian colleague and Danube Networker, Simeon Babic. Professor Simeon Babic intended to be with us today. He's unable to be for a health reason, but I would like to ask Timoslav to say our best greetings, and we will never forget that he was so involved and helped to step up the Danube Networkers.
And I will tell him, and I hope so that on the next session he will be with me.
It would be so great. Yes, it would be really great.
Yeah,
he's quite old, but he's so interested in all what we are doing and connecting people in the Danube region, but also all over Europe. Thank you.
Of course, he connected me.
Barbara and me, we worked with his association, and it's Lazar Lazarovic. It's about a person we can present one time because he's medicine and he's a very interesting person. But now it's up to Barbara to make us known a little bit Rostock. Hello, Barbara.
Hello, hello. I'm nice to hear all the interesting things from Europe. It's a beautiful country, Europe. It's a Vielfalt, careful and nice songs and Rottweil, and the other tradition is in the north of Germany. It is not Carnival and not Fasching. There is little clubs. In Berlin also not. Welcome a little to the Baltic Sea. A little welcome in Rostock. It is not Rostock, it is a tradition from the sailing. Rostock is 800 years city love. It is 800 kilometers from Ulm and 2,000 kilometers from Rose, 1,000 kilometers from Nottingham and 300 from Berlin. And this here is, I think we show the photo from Carmen and Professor Babic. It is not by Pixie. Yeah,
yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, this is the meeting, I think it is 30 or 50 years ago in Belgrade or in Ulm, maybe. Also, das ist remember, a memory from...
Not so long, but
yes, and this is
with
from...
our full heart.
This is the heart from Belgrade, from the project Lazar Lazarevic, and the heart in the round for the evening to the Valentine's Day. So this is a meeting in Berlin by the russischen Botschaft, bei der serbischen Botschaft. We planned the project to Lazar Lazarevic, and this is fand nicht statt durch Corona. It is no, ich habe Blackout.
It was not possible to meet because of Corona.
Yeah, blackout, cancelled durch Blackout. And now we go to Rostock. I lived here in 4 years, and is in my young time I was here in the holidays. Rostock is a beautiful Hanseatic city with a special site near the seaside. It's the biggest and important city in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Not so quickly, please. The castle in the please return side. This is a castle in Schwerin. It is a city from Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Also, and Rostock is 15 kilometers far north and is the special town near the seaside, and for a special tradition with Hanse sailing, also sailing, great meetings from sailing, international sailings. 200,000 inhabitants at Rostock, and is a historic city with Hanseatic flair, and the oldest university in Baltic region with 600 years, and Rostock is 800 years. In a city park, a little city part of old fishing villages by the seaside is Resort Warnemünde, gives old nice fishermen houses. And once here lived and worked any years the painter Edward Munch from Norway. Also it is interessant little part from Rostock. The next, please, and then we go quickly. This is the old card, and yeah, this is the old card from the seaside, and you can see the route from the sailors on sailing about the sea. the next, and this the next. We can go quickly. This is more you can find www.rostock and Hanse.org. You can read great information. The next, please. This is a tradition beginning with ships, also sailors sailing by wars, and then come the war, and dann kam der Handel and
Commerce.
Ja?
Commerce.
Commerce, ja. So ist die Entwicklung, the Stationen zunächst ein bisschen. Ist genau wie in Rottweil. In Rottweil is a carnival, and in Rostock is a unique phenomenon of Germany, historic Hanseatic League. These cities entlang the seasides were located in an area that are nowadays comprised of 7 European countries, from Dutch Zuiderzee in the west to Baltic Estonia in the east, from the Swedish Visby, Gotland, and Cologne, Erfurt, Breslau, Krakau in the south. It's not nicht nur das Meer, not the sea alone, the great cities entlang the river in Germany and the other, also Donau, a little also. Beginning in the 30 centuries bis to 16th century, from Portugal to Russian and from Scandinavian to countries, 20 European states. And in this time, the new tradition gives the European Union the place for the tradition. And in this time, since 200 cities in this conglomeration, in this Vereinigung. The next, und jetzt können wir schneller gehen. The next, please. Also jetzt noch einmal, the 30, middle of the 15. And was ist gehandelt? This included, for example, furs, wax, grain, fishes, flax, hemp, wood, and the luxus products war the special, ich weiß wieder das Wort Handel nicht, excuse me, from leider auch Weapons and Spices, also from east to west and west to east. The next. This is in the new time, every year, the special meeting from, I think, fast near 200 sailing ships, tradition sailings in Rostock. And in the special city is Hamburg, and Hamburg is the concentration for the new time with the tradition sailing. In the last year and in this year is cancelled while
because of Corona.
Genau, because of Corona, thank you. Ja. Und weiter. Also das habe ich schon erzählt, dass wir die oldest university in the region haben. We have on 600 years, and the place and the interesting place with the only new building of an art hall in the 60s, in the GDR time. And maybe my heart is for this art hall. It is an interesting modern house in Rostock. Danke. Nächste. This is also eine Augenweide, also etwas Besonderes is especially 5 days in Rostock with these ships. And everybody can take a billet and you can go to the sea about the seaside. The next. And this is also interesting. The birds, this is the birds, was proof the first stork. He came from South Africa and landing in here in Rostock. By the university, you can see this stork and is special place here for birds, rest of place for birds. And this was a first. Man kann nachweisen, the first we can say with this stork that birds come from south. Also, excuse me, my bit
No,
English.
it's fine.
The nächste bitte. This is in springtime and in autumn and now Kranich. Also this is auch she come or she go to the rest place. Kranich. Das ist wieder zurück. Das war wieder zurück jetzt. Den nächsten. Ja. This is the place today, the Hanse place special. You can see here the card and the towns for the Vereinigung, Union, the modern time. Ich glaube, wir sind. Ja. This is a greeting from Rostock, from the Warnemünde, from the seaside.
Thank you very much, Barbara. It was a very nice presentation, and we learned so much about the Hanseatic League. It was something very interesting for us, and also I can say when we say Lufthansa, we are thinking of Hansa, and I make a connection with the Hanseatic League.
Yes,
it was very
thank you. Thank you for your understanding that my English is. It's all.
It's very fine, Barbara, and thank you. It was the first approach to Germany North, and we have to speak one time more about Hanse because it was really a strong association, a commercial association connecting so a lot of very nice towns and powerful towns, and it was a little bit United Europe, as you said, and so we will come back to this theme. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think so. We can do planning a meeting to Rottweil and Ulm and Rostock and then we come to Romania and so.
Looking
It would
forward.
be fun, yes, to visit all the places where our friends are coming from.
And now we will see a very nice short film which was prepared by the students from the University of Third Age Ljubljana, Slovenia. And I want to give the floor to Violeta Botazzo from Ljubljana, who will introduce us the very nice film with the theme of love.
Thank you. Hello again. I'm Violeta Botazzo, and I am one of the participants in the project CineAge, European Cinema for Active Aging. Now I am happy to be able to share with you my impressions regarding this project. CineAge course was advertised in local newspaper, and I learned about it by chance from a colleague of mine. Learning how to make short features films about active aging sounded like a great idea to me. What we wanted? Well, a lot. Our mentors were master students from Film and Theatre Academy, and they taught us to write a script, to direct, to edit, to post-produce films. Our films were very special. Collective films, we shared different roles, and we filmed 3 films. And we liked it, and we very much admired too. Slovenian Third Age University is located near our central open air market. So this place inspired us to produce Lemon Dance there. Before watching the film, I'd like to tell you some facts about Ljubljana's central market, which is more than just a place to shop. Traditionally, it has been a place for the locals to meet and enjoy themselves together. Every Friday from mid-March to the end of October, Central Market hosts a unique food market where chefs of Slovenian restaurants prepare dishes from all over the world. And so many people come together. I hope this will happen soon, someday. To finish, let me say that we sent our 3 films to the Short Film Festival in Leeds, UK, and it was really a huge success. Now, no need to dance, but enjoy watching Lemon Dance, one of our 3 films. Enjoy.
Groß machen.
Dobar dan, limone biče imate? Pa še to mi dajte. Super, najlepša hvala. Še kovančke izvolite. Svidenje.
Svidenje. Franci, daj mi 2 limoni.
Kaj je? Še ni prišla?
Daj, ne me zajebava.
Dobar dan, kilo pomaranč, prosim. Po koliko so?
€1,50.
Pa so vsaj dobre, ko so tako drage.
Zelo sočne.
Evo. Hvala.
Svidenje.
Živjo.
O, živja.
Bom kar klasiko.
Imam že pripravljeno.
Hvala. Pa še kilo jabolk bi.
Greš se stelovati?
Ne, na ples ne hodim. Pa sem najstarejša tam.
Jo, pa kaj pol? Ples je pa ja nekaj najlepšega.
A vi plešete?
Jaz sem prej plesal, kakor shodil.
Dost bo.
€4.
Svidenje.
Thank you, Violetta. I think that the movie, it's very important also to wanted to transmit it us that it's important to, if we have feelings, to share and not to let to be inside of us, but to express ourselves. And I think it's a very lovely film, and I am sure that it had been a great success at everywhere. It touched my heart. Thank you very much. From Ljubljana, Slovenia. Violetta, you shared a very nice movie with us.
Thank you.
Now,
oh, and I think we are all very curious to see the other two films. Perhaps it would be possible in one of the next sessions.
Yeah, there is just one problem. The film has been translated and there was no translation, but in the Zoom sessions, and okay, we get what we get. Thank you anyway, Anna.
Thank you very much, Dushana, and thank you very much, Violetta. I want to tell that I hope you spend a lovely evening with us, and many thanks to all the participants, many thanks to all the actors, many thanks to the Eloy team, many thanks to Raffaele, and especially to Carmen Saderhofer. I give the floor to you. Thank you again.
Yes, I repeat, thanks to all of you participating, and especially thanks for all the actors. And as Ljubljana said, there are subtitles in this film we haven't seen, but we will, as every time, put the session in the video, and so you can see it again, and I hope it will function with the subtitles. And I hope we will see you and friends in the next session in 2 weeks. And we are expecting contributions from your side, from all your countries. And as you have seen this evening, and as it is every time, it's very exciting to see so different parts of cultures, this diversity, and in the same time, we have so a lot of things in common. And so I say in name of all, good night, and keep healthy. And it was a fun to be with friends and to get new friends. Thank you very much.